Hi parents, your teens are at the ripe age of brain transformation. They are in a stage of developmental plasticity, which means their neural structures are growing and changing. At the same time, they are really influenced by what's going on around them, experiences, new information, and new abilities. And this will shape the rest of their lives. So listen up. What's happening? Synaptic pruning and myelination are occurring. Basically, the brain is doing a spring clean, which means it's getting rid of all the unnecessary, and at the same time, it's keeping things that are necessary so that the brain can integrate. For example, this would happen if you're going to college for a specific major. You take certain classes that will help you to get the major, and you specialize that. You grow stronger in that area of learning, and in classes that you don't need, you don't take because it doesn't help you to get to your major. That's exactly what their brains are doing. In one area of the brain that is drastically being pruned or specializing is your teen's prefrontal cortex, and this area helps them to think complex thoughts. At the same time, what's happening is a thing called white matter is increasing. This white matter allows your teen's brain to connect with other parts of the brain. For example, the prefrontal cortex, decision making, and the limbic system, which is mostly emotions. Now, your teen can process things both faster to regulate their emotions through thoughts and feelings because both parts of the brain are connecting. This comes in handy, for example, for self-control because it needs both to work together to function and to accomplish that. And the other part of that is the limbic system. It's also drastically changing. And this will make your teen more emotional and more vulnerable to stress and more aware of rewards. The problem is that the limbic system is growing way faster and changing way faster than your child's prefrontal cortex, which will continue to develop through your mid-20s. This space can account for behavior for risk-taking and for seeking out rewards. Many put it this way. Your child's foot is being pushed on an accelerator with faulty brakes. Your child's brain is learning to reward what they want rewards, and they want to take risks before the other part of their brain, which is the reasoning and the decision making, is fully developed. Think of it as like the good angel and the evil devil on their shoulder. The devil is talking away and telling your teen what to do, and the angel's just silent because they don't know what to say. They haven't developed yet. And that's how it is, basically. Your teen wants the greatest reward, and because of their growing social awareness and understanding, they often choose what makes them liked. For example, from what clothes to wear, maybe to even being delinquent to act cool, because their priorities are way different than that of an adult. An adult can recognize and weigh rewards versus risk to make a better judgment call, but teens often choose what will give them the biggest reward. As I've said earlier, this time for teens is crucial. Their brains are so malleable and ready for change. You as a parent want to be well equipped to help their brains develop well and healthily. And it starts now. Once they have developed, it's 100% harder to change. Lawrence Steinberg in the book Adolescence says, it's like the difference between learning how to read and reading a new book. The first is life-altering, and that's your teen's brain. The second, not so much. That's more of the adult brain. It's your job to help them develop well now and before it's too late. So how can I do that? First, live by example. Your teens are massively influenced by their surroundings, their environment, and their experiences at this point. As Jesus taught by example, we are supposed to be a light and be an example for our teens. So you should love your children, as it says in 1 Corinthians 13:4-8. For example, love is patient and kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, and so on and so forth. Live by this example and love your teens even when it seems impossible. Second, live by truth. Your teens are also growing a greater understanding of social relationships. This is why they begin to question authority and societal constructs. And they might even question you and why you live by certain morals and why you have made certain things, told them to live a certain way. So this is why you should strive to live by biblical truth. Let your morals and your way of living be a fruit so that your teen can see it through you. And when they begin to question, turn them to Jesus, the ultimate truth. It says in John 14:6 that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through him. So, welcome your teen's questions. Don't turn away from them, and be okay with not having all the answers. Allow your teen to work through it and to question and point them to a deeper, transformative work in your life rather than the surface level. Lastly, live by prayer. Your teen is going through so many things, and it might seem like the world is falling down for them. So commit to regular prayer for their brains and their hearts. It is ultimately God who transforms them. And it's natural that they'll have questions and doubts, and you cannot save your child or cause them to be any certain way. God is ultimately in control and loves his child, so rely on him for your teen in this really hard time. For example, Philippians 4:6-7 says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus." Bring your requests to God. Thank him for your child, and let his peace rule over you. Another verse that I'd like to share is Psalms 139:13-14. "For you are created in my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well." Your child was knit in your womb, moms, probably not dads. They are fearfully and wonderfully made, so love your child well and know that God is in control. He has created them the way that he has wanted them, the way that he wants them to be. So just live in that truth. Thank you.